how do you think, let's just say that Sasha and Ilya were grown and working for the Obamas when he was president and then called Republicans Nazis. Or maybe a better example would be Chelsea Clinton doing the same thing as she was working for her mother if her mother was the president of the United States, or when her father was president. What do you think would happen on the right, Scott?
People would go crazy about it, and that's why it's wrong. I mean, I don't know how many
But no
times
one's going crazy about it.
It is wrong for one party to call the other one.
You're saying that, but no one is going crazy about it. No one has come out and said anything. I mean, you are a contributor here on CNN.
You know why? You know why no one's going crazy about it? Because our civil discourse has gotten so far off the rails that everybody yawns about this stuff. I mean, we can all get exercised about it, and I hate it. But that's the problem with American political discourse. It is so off the rails that even calling each other Nazis is no longer out of bounds.
Well, thanks to the President of the United States, he sets the tone. It wasn't off the rails like this in other presidencies.
No.
I mean, it wasn't. It starts from the top.
Sure it was. Do you know how many times I had to endure listening to people call George W. Bush a Nazi? It
I
happened.
did too, but it was not coming from the President of the United States. The President, have you watched the Trump rally lately?
George W. Bush said nothing like what Donald Trump said, and in fact, the number of Democrats...
But yet he was still called a Nazi. Yet they still call Bush a Nazi. George Soros, Keith Ellison, you name it.
You have stats, you have like...
Let's just give you the point. Let's just say that people did call George W. Bush a Nazi.
Well, they did. That's true.
But who did it? Was it a sitting president's son or a daughter or a family member?
No.
It was some of the most wealthy financiers of the Democratic Party. George Soros did it. Keith Ellison did it. Compared 9/11 to the Reichstag fire, for goodness sakes. I mean,
but
these
the
things
President of
did
the United
happen.
States
The
didn't
civil
do that
discourse
kind
was
of
broken
stuff.
before, and it's still broken.
For reporting the news, say. I mean, it's gross language. And Bob, what do you think about this dynamic between sort of, adequately responding to how serious and ugly the language is, and not being pulled into a kind of like professional wrestling match with the president, in which you're both in the sort of same cage?
Well, it's a question that I personally have to face every day in my role as a critic of media and a commentator on politics. But I must say I've made my decision. Yes, there is a risk of creating a sort of self-fulfilling prophecy by attacking the President of the United States and creating exactly the confrontation that he is baiting us to be in. On the other hand, this is a kind of historic evil, and it is such history on our founding principles, on our core values, and on truth itself, that I would rather fall into the trap of
raindrops and Floruses, gumdrops, and these are some of my favorite things. Yeah. Alright, hold on here. Gonna take a freight train all the way to Georgia now. Don't care where I go. Oh, can't see what that woman love's been doing to me. I'm trying my best, sweetheart. Okay. Okay, we got all jammed in. I had enough time, and then it just flew by, just like that. I mean, I got things to do, but oh, the white cat's out here. I got all the garbage out here, lots of garbage. The Batmobile. I mean, it would be nice if I could, ride and talk at the same time, but I can't. So, on mornings that I have to do some stuff, and just doesn't work out sometimes with the time. I mean, I gotta like at least block in 15 minutes, and right now I'm on schedule. I can do it. I think I can. We got tennis courts here now. We got tennis courts. Yeah, we're moving on up, moving on up. That was from yesterday. We all came down Woodstock. Anyways, welcome in. I don't know if you listening to that. Actually, when I was getting ready, Don was talking to a pastor, and this is from my best recollection. And I'm trying to like focus in on a lot of things. It seems. I mean, I hope I get it right. I think I'm going to be close to the mark. I think he came out and took a risk. I think, and that's nice. That is beautiful. That Don will have someone like that, because this is total opposite, end of the spectrum, and that's beauty. I didn't know people would be out. All right, I don't think they're gonna go in my car. You just never know. But they're girls. They're jogging. They got the device on, like the pad. There's a pad of some sort. This is beauty. And I was listening to another something when I logged on. It was something about. I mean, there's this guy used to be a Democrat, and he's just speaking out on things, which we all should. And yes, the media, the thing with Jim Acosta and whatever else, and that was a unbelievable exchange. I don't know if anyone's seen that, but with Jim Acosta and Sarah Sanders. I mean, really. I mean, you got to look at it from both sides. She's just there doing a job, and she was just saying all the things, she had to put up with. And Jim's like, no, you got to tell us, whatever question you want to answer. It's just, are we the enemy? Are we the enemy? Are we the enemy? Are we the enemy of the people? Are we the enemy of the people? And for that, I'm like, yes, media. I mean, we got expensive paid journalists here, and the late night talk show host too. Okay, I'm just pointing this stuff out, and I want to bring in some beautiful liberal women. I really do, because I think the direction from other information that I'm getting from just bringing all this together. I mean, doing all these videos, doing this show, and all that kind of stuff. And I talk to my 90-year-old aunt on a day-to-day basis. Maybe every other day. Sometimes. I mean, she raised an only child to be an anesthesiologist, and the stories that she tells me is just phenomenal. And there's a connection. They're connected. All my relatives. I grew up there, Montellos and all that kind of stuff, and I mean, that one time I had my one cousin on there. I felt good, I felt great. It was like a big thing for me. I mean, I know the storyline. I know exactly what happened. I want to thank you to all the people that are still keeping me on, stuff like that. Thank you. Tell a friend, if you're local or if you're not local, or if you're local, like us. Yes. But getting back, I'll take over. Man, that is beautiful, man. We're on a timer and everything, and you're just like, cool. You're like Joe Cool. Well, thank you, Twinkles. Thank you. I mean, you have to sometimes, give yourself a pat on the back, right? I know. I mean, Dave stopped listening to us just because I said, I was down there, I was doing some kind of acting scene of some sort, Beverly Hills or whatever. Like a movie script or something like that. But the camera at the time, I don't think, I think I was too far away and stuff like that. But this is what we have to work with. We still got to pay things. We got bills, lots of bills. But, you do your best. No good deed goes without, being noticed. I believe that. Even if 3 people, listen to this show, or if 3 people, know the circumstances, that I, pulled myself out of, and I still got a long way to go, just like Obama. He's up there, we got a long way to go. It's true. But how are we going to get there? So, getting back to the media and, the Fort State and all that kind of stuff, yes, you do have a right, but, this, I don't want to lose my train of thought here. Somebody's walking up here. But, I mean, to just be this, like, critical, with nothing nice to say. It's just constant bashing, just constant criticism, and they're not focusing on anything that's positive. And like I said this year on some videos, I said, all right, so you impeach him, everything, we've seen things, with Ashley Judge and Madonna. This morning we took in, enough. And then, trying to schedule my time, get some newspapers for my old cat and stuff like that. And there is a beautiful cat that I started feeding in the winter. He was really, how you say this? Not nourished. Non-nourished. Well, not nourished. It's a lot. There's a lot of stories in the Naked City. But he's a nice one. He's a cutie. A beautiful one. Years ago, even before I got on Facebook, I used to, rescue animals. I had some people and stuff like that. Little connections. Girl down the street. But I was going through some rough times. We all sometimes, face them. And like I was hinting at the other day about stories. Everyone's got a story. I mean, do you have a story about rising, from bad, situations and stuff like that? I mean, things. I mean, life. I mean, sure. I mean, they throw a lot at you. But we have to start loving one another. We do. We gotta help. And I understand about this whole thing, with, with countries that mistreat people and everything like that. Yes, it's a tough world. It's a tough world. A lot of tough things. But it has a lot to do with, leaders. People they elect in their countries to do, what's got to be done. And this whole Russia thing. I mean, as I was saying, you get rid of them, you get rid of them. And you have Pence. And I said, what's the other side going to do? I mean, was Obama the best? I mean, I honestly, at the time and everything, I still, when he was there, I supported the country. I really did. And it was a better time for me because, nothing, I mean, I was able, because no one was even paying attention to me. Or, the whatever, the man, or the woman, or the man, I don't know, whatever it is. That we're always being spied on. We're being spied on for some reason. They have us, right? Do they not have us? Control, power. What I see with this guy, what I see with Trump, and forgive me for saying this, I see him for people, all people. And yes, the pastor was on there, and I said, that'd be a beautiful thing, he's putting a big risk on. What am I risking? I got nothing else to risk. I mean, I can only gain. I can only go up. All right, we'll be back.